So in this video, we're going to talk about one of the assets available for this month's free for the month collection, and that is the FluidNinja VFX Tools over here. So if you still hadn't bought this asset, I would highly recommend it as it's an incredibly powerful fluid simulation toolkit. So FluidNinja VFX Tools is a baked, non-real-time, standalone fluid simulations toolkit. So it's not a real-time fluid simulator that would dynamically react to a game, and it only works in standalone. And I will show you that in just a minute. So if you want to find a similar fluid simulator that works in real time, we have to check out Ninja Live, which is created by the same creator, this guy over here. He calls himself AK. So unsurprisingly, since this toolkit is incredibly powerful, it is also fairly complicated. You have to understand how to use this toolkit in order to properly benefit from it. And a lot of people have been asking where is the documentation for this, and it's actually over here, user manual. You can just click on this link over here and it will take you to the documentation. So when you click on the user manual link, it will take you to this documentation over here. Highly recommend you to actually read through this. It will actually explain how to best use the toolkit. So after you have purchased this, you have this option called create project, and you can just create the project. I already created mine, so I'm just going to open this. So after you first open up the FluidNinja VFX Tools, you will be met with this screen over here. And if you're first starting up the project, then you will find a lot of shader compilations over here. So it will take some time for those compilations to complete, so wait for a bit for them to get completed. So this is the main level of the Ninja VFX Tools, and this is the level where you use to create or to bake all kind of fluid simulations. So if I were to click on the content browser, go to FluidNinja, and in the levels, this is the main level of this particular toolkit, and all these are example content, and we'll go through most of them later on. And to actually use this level, it's preferable to go into full screen. So press the F11 function key and you will go to full screen, and you can press F11 again to go back to normal view. So I'm going to hit on play. This is the first module that will be opened up when you first start up the Ninja VFX Tools, and this is one among the main modules of the FluidNinja VFX Tools, and this is the module you use to create fluid simulations. This part of the area of the screen is used for visualizing the fluid simulations. So you have the density map and the output velocity map. Over here you have all kind of parameters and options to control the fluid simulations. So you can offset this fluid simulations to one side, you can amplify it, you can increase turbulence, and you can do all kinds of things, changing hue and so on. Now it's preferable that you actually press on this icon over here called tooltips, and this tooltips icon will actually give you all kinds of information about what each of these buttons actually do. In here again, as I said before, we have a bunch of modules over here. So this is the introduction module. Basically it just gives a quick introduction to the toolkit. And you have the Ninja config. So this is the module that is used to configure the FluidNinja tools. So you can change the output for the Flipbooks or the image atlas that the FluidNinja module creates. You can also change the default preset, and you can add compression to the density map and the velocity map, and you have so many other options over here. And over here you have the Ninja fields, and you also have Ninja flow. Like honestly, I haven't used the Ninja fields and the Ninja flow all that much, but again, there are plenty of tutorial and very good documentation for this. You can actually learn what these all do. Again, this is just a quick overview on what this tool does. So the main one we are going to focus is FluidNinja over here. This is the main module, and say I want to change the preset. There are a lot of presets over here, so I'm going to choose something like dry ice, and now you have a dry ice effect. And suppose if I like this effect, all I really need to do is go over here. You have this red button over here under the category of bake, and actually you can also pause the simulation. So that pauses the simulation and you can again resume it. And say I want to record this, so I'm going to press on the record button. And there it have recorded the simulation. So over here, this is the actual simulation continuing over and over. And this one is the baked sequence that it had recorded. So the way the baking here works is that it randomly records whatever the fluid simulator over here is showing up. It just records that in an image atlas or a flipbook, and it just simply plays those images over and over. So if you don't like this, you can just restart the baking again and actually try and see if you like this. And in here, assume that I want to reduce the frame count of the baked sequence. I can just modify the number over here, so I can give a number of 10 and then press bake, and this will produce 10 frames for a baking. Right now this bake sequence is not saved. It's still only a preview, and it's saved in our RAM, not in our storage. And in order to save this, we have to mark this baked sequence, and you press this icon over here to mark this. And over here in our status bar it showed assets marked for save. And you can also, by the way, export this baked sequence to other software or to any other game engines like Unity by pressing on this icon over here called PNG. And over here you have two materials, and this is the materials that will be used to play this image sequence, and it's called an atlas player. And there are two types. One is the basic material and the other is an advanced material. It is recommended that you actually save in the advanced material, because if you save this as an advanced material, then you have a lot more customization options later on. And yeah, so I'm going to press on the advanced material over here, and it's going to ask us to save, provide a name. I'm going to call this fluid sim test because we're just testing this out. And once you're done, you can press the escape button to stop playing. And in the content browser in FluidNinja, under output, you have these two velocity and density bake simulations over here. And currently it's given as 8044-density, and the reason it comes like this number is because we didn't provide a prefix to it. So if I were to play this again and provide a name under prefix over here, so I'm just going to name this as test, and again reduce the fluid simulation count to like 16. I'm just going to use this one instead. So I'm going to bake this, and now that the baking is complete, we have this fluid simulation over here. And I'm going to mark this texture and then save this as an advanced material. So I guess I'll have to call this fluid sim test 2. You can just give whatever name you want. I'm just going to give something just to differentiate it. And then over here we have both of our new ones called test density and test velocity. And we have two separate materials as well. So one is the fluid sim test, the first one we created, and the second one is the recently created fluid sim. And you can actually put this into the level. So I'm just going to create a new level, create a basic new level, and in here we need to create a plane. So select plane under shapes over here, and we're going to rotate this, so rotate it by 90 degrees. And then in here I'm just going to drag the fluid sim into this. Actually we should be rotating it the other way. Here it is, our fluid sim. Just show FPS, so this way real time will be activated. So over here we have some issues, like there are some lines over here, and I'm going to select on the material over here, and in here we have a bunch of options to kind of fix that. So under opacity, edge masking, wait for the shaders to be recompiled, and now the edges are gone, it's properly masked. So if we save this and go back to over here, those lines are now gone. So now it looks more better than before. So this is how you actually create a fluid simulation and drag it into the scene and make it work. This is just one part of the many other things that the fluid simulator can do. So if we were to go back to the levels folder under here, and you have use cases, so I'm just gonna not save any of them. And actually, before I go to that, in the use case example, we have all of these shaders that the creator have put. So you can use these shaders as a preset. So the way we're going to do that is, say for example, I really like this one over here. I like this shader, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to the area where this shader is located. So that is the long smoke over here. So I want to add this into my scene. To do that, what I'm going to do is create a new level and then go over here, see long smoke. We're going to first create a plane again. So create a plane and then just drag it by 90 degrees and simply drag this material, the material instance by the way, into the plane. And there we have just dragged one of those simulations into our level, and it's that simple. And you can do the same thing for any of the other fluid simulations, and there are a lot of them that the creator have put. So we have all of these running over here, and you can actually modify their materials to change their color, their appearance, whether to add emission, so on. This toolkit's creator, he has a YouTube channel, and you can actually try referring to that. He actually goes in depth about how to actually use these presets and how to modify them properly. So I highly recommend you check that. So again, if I were to check one of the other use cases, you can see that this fluid simulator is capable of a lot more. It can react to spotlights like this one over here. This is actually a 2D simulation, by the way. These are all separate 2D planes that have been curved to match the curvature of the object. It dynamically reacts with light sources again. You can actually use volumes and it reacts with other objects as well to create all kinds of really impressive looking fluid simulations. I actually forgot to showcase bitmaps over here, but you can actually create bitmaps, and this same bitmap can be used to draw other things like particles, volumes, smoke, and so on. This time we're using the fluid simulator to drive the volume clouds. You can actually refer to how these work by making sure that you read this thing. So yeah, that's about it. I highly recommend you actually buy this if you still haven't. This is only for free for this month. So after this month ends, you won't be able to gain access to this toolkit for free. So highly recommend you buy this. It's really capable. And I also highly recommend you check the YouTube channel of the creator. He has a lot of tutorials which he has saved as playlists in his YouTube channel, and you can actually go through them in order to understand how this tool actually works. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching and see you later. Bye.